Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get the evening underway because we promised we'd get you out of here in good time. So once we begin dinner service, the bar will be closed, as I said, for the rest of the evening, but there will be host wine served at the tables during dinner. And also, if I could have your attention, please, we would like everyone to silence their cell phones or iPhones or Blackberries or whatever you have. Doesn't mean you have to turn them off. In fact, we'd like you to tweet if you are a tweeter. We'd like you to tweet about tonight's event and let your friends and your followers know what's going on. Before we begin, would you please join me in showing your appreciation for the Central Memorial High School String Ensemble who are playing out there during the So welcome everyone to the 2012 Calgary Board of Education Distinguished Alumni Awards. My name is Darrell Jans of CTV Calgary, and I'll be your host tonight along with my newest co-anchor, Kat Sviknushin from William Eberhart High School. CTV has been a proud media sponsor for this event since 2006, and we are excited to be a part of this year's celebration once again. Throughout my career, I have worked with some outstanding, talented co-anchors, and tonight is no exception. Please welcome William Eberhart's own Kat Sviknushin.
So thank you so much, Darrell, for the extremely warm welcome. It's an honor to co-host this evening with you today. I'm excited to be surrounded by all of these amazing people who are true role models for everyone who is committed to the path of success. For those of you who are new to the event tonight, I'd like to mention that the Calgary Board of Education Distinguished Alumni Awards were started by the trustees in 2002. Each year, leading Calgary public education graduates are recognized for their meaningful contributions to the community. Over the past 7 years, Education Matters has produced the event to publicly honor the Calgary Board of Education's leading alumni and to support the commitment and dedication of students through the Future Leaders Fund, a fund established in 2006 to support today's students so they can become tomorrow's leaders. This was the fund that gave me and 28 other CBE students the opportunity to attend the International Youth Leadership Summit in Beijing this year. So we want to encourage everyone with a smartphone to participate in this evening's event. So you can use the hashtag CBEDA on Twitter to congratulate tonight's award recipients. You can share your fondest memories of when you were in school, or even let us know what you thought about dinner.
But what if school was so long ago you barely remember ever being there? It's like that for some of us, isn't it? Well, I am pleased to recognize the trustees in attendance tonight, and I'll go like this and still don't see too much because those lights are bright, aren't they? We have tonight with us Pat Chair Cochran, Vice Chair Lynn Ferguson, and trustees Pamela King and George Lane. Are you standing? There they are. Welcome. Tonight's theme, Committed to Success, honors the lifetime of commitment, determination, and passion of the distinguished alumni. Last year, we recognized the late Peggy Valentine, along with Master Corporal Paul Franklin. In previous years, we've honored Doug Mitchell, Steve Allen, Charlie Fisher, Joanne Cuthbertson, Alan Markin, Dr. Marnie Hess, Dr. Martha Cohen, the Honorable Norman L. Kwong, Jim Dinning, Mark Southern, and Peter Lougheed. And we were deeply saddened by the passing of Peter Lougheed, who in 2002 received our very first award as a graduate of Central High School. Mr. Lougheed's commitment to leadership and his tremendous dedication to this province has created a lasting legacy that continues to benefit the lives of all Albertans. And I'm pleased to say that we have 4 of our successful leaders here tonight. Would you please stand or wave when I call your name, and when they've all been introduced, please give them a well-deserved round of applause. We have Marg Southern, Dr. Marnie Hess, Steve Allen, and Doug Mitchell. And we also want to recognize Peter Valentine, who is with us tonight. His wife, Peggy, was honored posthumously at this event last year, so welcome, Peter.
So this year we're lucky enough to add 3 more names to the list: George Gosby, Paul Brandt, and Quincy Smith. But we will be saving the special recognitions as well as their motivational stories about commitment and success for later in the evening.
And speaking of motivational stories, Kat, have you had a great teacher in your life who inspired you to succeed, or participated in a community-based activity that resonated with you in a special way and instilled a sense of achievement? We'd love to hear that kind of a story if you have one.
Well, I most definitely do, and I think that most of the students here today have a story as well. But my story really started back in grade 5, where I had a teacher that really believed in student voice to the point where she ran the class basically democratically. So we as students had a huge influence within our own classroom. So we decided what big projects we were going to run or what field trips we were going to go on. It was really true student voice. But clearly, my journey didn't only end there. So when I went to junior high, the students seemed to still be the driving force behind our school. Our principal and vice principal were kind and welcome to feedback from our entire student body. We knew that our opinion really mattered. We were disappointed when our wonderful principal left us in grade 8 to become a high school principal, but we weren't separated for that long because in grade 10, our graduating class was back with the guy we so loved and cherished, our own Mr. Monopoly Man, Mr. Ferguson. So I'm so honored to have him here as my guest tonight, somewhere around here. But because it's his commitment to initiatives like the Principal Advisory Council or the leadership framework in our school that really makes us all as 1,500 students at William A. Burhart High School to be so successful and to have our own leadership skills. So thank you very much, Mr. Ferguson.
Wonderful story, Kat, and it just shows what a dedicated people we have in the CBE, empowering and fostering the students' commitment to excellence and success. So thanks for sharing that with us. Tonight we would like to ask all of you to think of a story like Kat's or something similar and share it at your table. This evening there are student ambassadors joining us from Central Memorial, Crescent Heights, and Sir Winston Churchill High Schools. There's one at each table to lead us in sharing these stories. So thank you all, students, for being here tonight.
So a huge thank you, since Education Matters is so grateful for all its volunteers, donors, supporters, and everyone who's been motivated and committed to help the growth of Calgary's K-12 education. This evening would not be possible without tonight's sponsors: RGO Office Supplies, CTV, the Calgary Board of Education, All Rush Copies and Print, First Student Canada, and Willow Parks Wines and Spirits.
Now, in your program, you will see that the evening will include some messages from Dr. Jean Edworthy, the Chair of Education Matters Board of Governors, Naomi Johnson, Chief Superintendent of Schools, and Pat Cochran, Chair of the Calgary Board of Education Trustees. And we'll also show a Calgary Board of Education video entitled "Making a Difference." That'll come up later this evening.
Now that everyone knows what to expect tonight, I think it's time to start the meal. What do you think, Daryl?
Hey, I've never said no to a good meal. Yes, it is a wonderful idea, and I'm sure we are all getting very hungry. So before we eat, I would like to call on Rod Garasino to give thanks for tonight's meal.
Please join me in a moment of quiet reflection on everything we have to be grateful for this evening. The people of the CBE and Education Matters, and everything they do to give our young people the best possible public education. Our distinguished alumni honorees who inspire us by showing us what can be accomplished with the Public Education Foundation. The opportunity to gather with everyone here who shares such a strong commitment to community. For our student ambassadors present this evening, and for students everywhere, they represent the future for all of us. And the meal we are about to enjoy, and those who prepared it. For all this and more, may we be truly grateful. Have a great evening.
Enjoy your dinner. And unlike those 37 years when I interrupted your dinner for 5 nights a week, we won't be doing that tonight.